And then if you do have a question just for a matter of housekeeping, do go ahead and raise your hand again. We do have some people in the room who will be happy to help. Obviously, Ralston has joined us today. We also have Haley in the room, who is our training assistant, and she will also be keeping an eye on things. You are welcome to raise your hand. You are also welcome to throw anything that you need into chat. We will have people who are answering in chat as well, if need be. And we can certainly answer your questions out of there as well. Thank you again for joining us today. This is kind of a wrap-up fun class for us for the end of the year, just because we have been receiving so many different emails from all sorts of different sources. One of the things that we want to talk about today as we kind of start looking toward 2025 are all the different kind of communications and emails that are going to be coming out, all the different things that we have going on into our systems. So part of this is a presentation, and part of this is going to be looking at things live as well, just so that you can kind of have an idea of what some of this looks like. So if you will indulge me today, I do have some screen switching that I need to do in order to accommodate all of this. Just as another matter of quick housekeeping, and just to keep this a nice clean recording, if you don't mind turning off your videos, it also helps the bandwidth on our presentations as well. Everybody will be muted as they come in, and we'll go ahead and get started. So I certainly took some liberties here with some of our current events and emails, reports, and more. Oh my. So this is going to be a breakdown of some of our communications and the most important emails that you receive from all of our systems and partners that we have. So I've really broken down these communications into 3 different types. There's obviously more than this out there, but we do have a fair number that come in that are listing based. Obviously, we are real estate based and housing based. Most of our emails are going to be based on what we're doing with our listings. So we do have a number of those, but we also receive a lot of reports out there. So these are things like automated reports or reports that might come in from various sources. We're actually going to talk about some of those. And then, of course, we also have our most common lead gen emails and what those look like and what you should be looking for in your box. Just as a note on here, we have worked with our wonderful IT department to make sure that we have whitelisted in our rwtown.com email system all of our different vendors and all of our different reports and things like that that are coming in. We try to make sure that if you are on the rwtown.com email system, which the majority of you should be, that these emails should arrive into your inbox, especially things like lead gen notifications, reports from, our major sources, and obviously any of our listing based items. Those email addresses, when they get whitelisted, they should land in your email box, but from time to time, they may land in junk and spam. We try to prevent that from happening. But I can tell you just from our experience with a lot of this, that I know that you guys receive a lot of emails. I mean, you receive emails day and night from all sorts of different vendors, from clients, from programs, from this, from that, whatever it happens to be. Our boxes are just full. We even see it on the employee side. We get the same kind of communications from a lot of the vendors, and we know that it's crazy. But what happens is that we have really important emails that come in, and that's one of the reasons we're doing this class. If you guys unsubscribe, or if you don't read some of these emails, or at least open them, or if you continue to mark something as junk that might be important for maybe other agents, that's when we start to run into problems, that even when we whitelist something, or even when we add it to all of our different systems, that we can even be overridden by things like Outlook and Gmail and things like that that say, hey, it looks like nobody's reading this, or it looks like somebody's not opening it, or this one's been marked as spam, manually. And that's when it can start to land in the junk box, even if we've whitelisted it. So just be aware that sometimes the things that you do in your own inbox can actually affect other people and the agents in the company as well. As soon as we notice something has been moved into a different category, we certainly try to fix it. But it's really interesting how we can all affect each other when we're receiving these emails. We normally talk about this on the sending side. Obviously, we say, please don't send 20,000 emails out of the system if you haven't verified those email addresses, because it affects everyone else. It's really interesting that it also affects other people as those emails come in as well. So just keep an eye out for all of these emails we're going to talk about today, but also know that they are important and please don't mark them as junk and spam if possible. So the first one I want to talk about is one that comes up fairly often, and this is one that comes out of RWT Connect, and this is something that happens when you take a new listing. You'll notice that we have some other categories here on this particular email, but this is part of our what we call our listing automation program. There's actually a document on RWT Connect about the listing automation program if you want to learn more. We can certainly throw that Sway document link into our chat, or we'll be happy to pop it into chat when we're done. But just know, and I'll show you when we go into RWT Connect where you can find those for yourself as well. But listing automation emails come out from the system in RWT Connect anytime basically you take a new listing, or there's been an open house updated, or a photo gallery, a price has been updated, primary photo has been updated, a status has been changed, or a virtual tour has been updated or added. That's a lot of moving parts. The interesting thing about this particular email, and it does come in from our Reliance network, is that it has a picture of the property, it has what's going on, and then it has these action items. But before we get into that particular email, I do want to talk about that listing automation. You can see all the different pieces that are on here. So one of the things that we hear fairly often is, hey, we get a lot of emails when we take a new listing from RWT Connect, from the actual Reliance system. And this is why. It is triggered based on things that are changed. So here's an interesting technical side note for you. When we receive the feed from the MLS, did you know that it actually doesn't come in one single piece? It actually comes in multiple parts. So we actually receive the data before we receive the photos, and that data gets processed before the photos do. That's one of the reasons why if you put a listing in and immediately check the website, 15 minutes later, you'll see all the data, but you might not see photos. But if you refresh in about 2 minutes, you'll see the photos. Unfortunately, that also triggers multiple listing automation emails. So that's why you'll get an email that says, hey, new listing has been added, and here's the information. There's the picture, or not the picture of your house, but there's the information on it, and you have these triggers. Then you might get another email in another 5 minutes that says, hey, the photo gallery has been updated. And the reason is because we're getting that information in batches and it's being processed in batches. So you can imagine if you're putting a new listing in the system, and it already has an open house, or maybe you go in and make a change. Maybe you've put a new listing in, you've put an open house in at the same time, you've put some maybe a primary photo in and a few photos, but your admin's going to come back through and put some more photos in later. You can imagine on our listing automation system what is happening. So you might get an email that says, hey, new listing. Oh, by the way, we added an open house to it. Oh, by the way, the main photo has been updated. Oh, by the way, we have more photos updated, and you get multiple emails. This is where we sometimes get into that, hey, is it junk or is it an unsubscribe situation and things like that. It's really just the system letting you know that it's going through that whole process of just getting everything up and running on there. So let's take a quick look at that email real quick, because this is a kind of an important one that we have on here. And it's going to show the different property address. The subject that comes in is obviously a property update on, let's say, 123 Main Street. It's going to let you know what's changed. This is how you can tell that it's not the same email coming in. So it might say, new listing has been added, primary photo has been changed. Sometimes that just means it's been processed. The photo gallery has been updated. Maybe an open house was added later in the afternoon, something like that. So that trigger is going to show you what's changed. The really important thing down here are these quick links, however. This is just a kind of a to-do list for a new listing. And all of this goes back to your listing manager that's in RWT Connect. This is just a little to-do list. It's a little saying, hey, your listing is now live on the website. Do you want to share it on Facebook? Do you want to share it on Twitter or X? Do you want to share it on Pinterest? Do you need the link to the single property website for whatever reason? So we're going to talk about a couple of other emails coming up here. And maybe we need that single property website to maybe change our chalk digital listing, for example, which is going to default to a totally different email or web address. Do we want to send a flyer or print a flyer? Don't forget, we have lots and lots of different resources for everybody to be able to kind of service their listings with all of our different vendors. Some people might send a quick flyer out of the eCard system in their listing manager in RWT Connect just to kind of get it out there. They have a list that they're already established with. They want to go ahead and send it. That's that little trigger point there. If you want to print a flyer, we do have some flyers that are easily printable out of RWT Connect. Sometimes those are perfect for just quickly putting maybe 10 printed flyers into a house because you're going to have an open house the same day you listed it, or you're going to have an open house the next morning, and you haven't had a chance to get your really fancy brochures back in from marketing yet. Whatever that happens to be, those are some trigger markers there that you have. And all of those links are going to go back to your listing manager on RWT Connect. This is one of the first emails that you're actually going to see when you take a new listing or when you've had any of those other items, those trigger markets happen. So again, price changes, things like that, status changes. You're also going to start to get some new emails, and I know that you guys have seen these. We've done a class on it before about Media Booster AI. This is internal to RWT Connect, and this is part of our listing manager. So Media Booster AI is a way to boost your properties on social media. This is a paid product, okay? So this is just a, hey, do you want to run these ads? This is just provided as part of that listing manager experience to say, do you want to get an ad up and running really fast on Facebook or on Instagram, and we can go ahead and run it. It's a really similar email type to the email that we just saw about a new listing coming in. And it's just a way to say, hey, this product is available to you if you want to run it, and it's available to you in your listing manager. It doesn't mean that you have to. It just means that it's just triggered by the fact that it's either a new listing, an open house, or a pending or sold. It'll just give you that option to run those Media Booster AIs. I always do these back to back because this is the one that you guys are actually looking for, which is the Chalk Digital email. So in Chalk Digital, this is actually going to come, this email is actually going to come from BHHS Resource. This email comes in about 24 hours after you take a listing. Okay. And what it's going to do is it's going to say, hey, we just got a new listing. It's going to become part of the automated listing program. So it's going to be that automated, it's going to automatically run for you. And it's going to give you that 7-day free ad from BHHS. So this is the email that you're looking for when you see something come in and you know that you want to do some digital advertising, you're looking for that free ad. This is that email that's going to come in, and it's from Chalk Digital. You have, from the time that this email comes in, 24 hours or so to be able to adjust the ad for Chalk Digital. And we can go ahead and take a look at a couple of those things here as soon as we get to the end. But you do have about 24 hours to adjust that ad. If you do nothing, this ad is going to run for those 7 days. You're still going to get that free ad. You're still going to get that information, but you do have an opportunity to go ahead and change it from here. When you log in to Chalk Digital, it's going to go ahead and show you your dashboard. It's going to give you an opportunity to edit, and you can make a few changes on there. You're also going to get an email from BHHS Resource with something called the Marketing Resource Listing Kit. Now, we're going to talk about a totally different product here in just a second, but I do want you to know that this is an email that you do get, which is the listing kit from Marketing Resource. Marketing Resource went ahead and went through and said, hey, we're going to go ahead and put all the most common things that you might use out of Marketing Resource on BHHS into one email that comes out, and then you can log in and you can say, okay, what do you want to do with this? Do we need to print a flyer? Do we need to go ahead and send a postcard? Do we want to make a social image ad? Do we need to make a door hanger? What do we need to make? It's a listing kit. You do have the ability, obviously, to go into Marketing Resource at any time and be able to look at all of these different listing kits. And these are the different notifications you'll get. One is for a new listing. One is a price adjustment. Of course, one is for a successful sale. So this comes out when it's pending or sold. But it just gives you the options that are available in Marketing Resource for all of those different marketing items that are available. Do you have to use them? No. It's just really a reminder to let you know that it's there. And this is part of that BHHS experience that they have. However, we also have a really similar program that comes out from ExpressDocs called the Automated Property Marketing, or APM, that actually goes into the same kind of thing here. And it's from ExpressDocs. This is our local version of ExpressDocs. I'm just going to go back for 1 second here. Just as a reminder, on the Marketing Resource, anything that we print out of there or send to the printer from Marketing Resource itself. So this is, of course, logging into BHHS, looking at Marketing Resource, looking at that listing kit, looking at those postcards and things like that. It is sent to ExpressDocs, but it's a slightly different version of ExpressDocs. That is the kind of global account center for ExpressDocs that BHHS has. They have their own account with them. They have their own resources with them. They have their own deals with them, of course. But when you get that email from ExpressDocs itself, and it talks about the automated property marketing, and this is based again on new listings, open house pendings, or sold. These are all the same kind of products that you're going to get in the listing kit, minus the social images. And this is going to go into postcards, and it's going to go into brochures, and it's going to go into things like door hangers and stuff like that if you want them. You can also do flyers through here. And it's going to give you the option of going ahead and just doing kind of a quick setup on that. It's going to automatically take in the information that it had from the listing. So that main photo, some of that text, it's got an AI engine built into it now. And it's going to say, hey, do you want to send a quick just listed, just sold card? Do you need to make a flyer? If you've done a price change, do you need to make a new flyer that has an adjustment? If you're going through the APM email that's available from ExpressDocs itself, then it's going to have those ad credits if you're available for those that are built into your system. And it's also going to have all of your local information in there. So anything that might have been added to your personal account is going to be in this version of ExpressDocs. So we've talked about this before. I just want to make sure that it's really clear here. Anytime that you're printing anything out of Marketing Resource itself, and then up in BHHS, it's a slightly different version of ExpressDocs, same company. But this is our local version whenever you go through ExpressDocs on RWT Connect, or if you're going through these emails that are the automated property marketing that say, hey, thanks for taking a new listing. Do you need a postcard? Do you need a flyer? Do you need a brochure? Of course, you can certainly go through our marketing department and go through that ordering process as well. But this gives you kind of a nice, quick, easy way. You also get an email from Paradigm about listing video automation. So what it's letting you know is it says, hey, we have taken all the photos that have come in and we've taken the information on the property and we've created these videos for you. So this email comes in and it just lets you know that here's the links to your video. Do you need the link to YouTube? If you've connected your YouTube account from your Paradigm profile, it's going to be in there. It's also going to let you know that you have branded and unbranded automated videos that are available for you. So if you do need that unbranded link for whatever reason, you can certainly forward that email to your admin to go ahead and add to your listing. We do that fairly often. But it's also letting you know that you have the ability to go ahead and change your listing if you want to. It will go ahead and log you into Paradigm, and it will allow you to make any adjustments to that listing video if you need it. We have set up the most common settings in Paradigm based on kind of best practices and things like that about, you know, the way it looks and how long it is and the different voices that are used and things like that. All of that, however, can be adjusted by you. So if you want to go in and you want to make a video that has narration on every single slide instead of just a main narration, you can certainly do that. If you want to go ahead and go in and change the voice or the background music, you can certainly do that as well. It'll go ahead and republish those links once you save. But it will automatically give you that automated listing email already that's just going to give you the links to the stuff that's been done by default and then give you the updates that you can make to those videos if you want to. There's a bunch of other listing based emails that you're going to get, and I always put these question marks here less for question and answer and more for we receive a lot of emails. And some of them are going to be from different companies and things like that that also have access to maybe a listing feed and things like that. We often get emails into our help box that say, hey, what is this? There's a lot of people who have access to our feeds, and there's a lot of products out there, and there's a lot of people who are trying to sell you things. One of the reasons why we put this kind of other category slide in here is just to let you know that there are a lot of other emails that you're going to get. But the emails that I just showed you are the ones that are probably the most important ones that are actually coming from our own internal systems and also some vendors that obviously we are working with that are really important, that are kind of our primary vendors on here. If you'll indulge me for just 1 second, I want to go ahead and swap screens real quick, just so that you can take a look at some of the the things that we just talked about live. So give me 1 second here and we will take a look at a couple of these pieces. Of course, in the time I've been talking, I got logged out, but that's okay. We will fix this. Mhm. All right. Let's take a look at a couple of these different listing email pieces that you're going to get. Let's just go ahead and start with the RWT Connect ones for the time being. Of course, I told you that that RWT Connect email is going to put you straight into your listing manager, which is where we are here. Okay. And I wanted to just show you what it's going to do when you log in. So let's go ahead and just pick a listing here real quick. Let's just pick this one in Newport News. And all of the different pieces that come into that email that say, hey, do you want to share it on social media? Do you want to run a Media Booster AI? Do you want to share it on Facebook? All of that information is available here in your listing manager. So it is going to direct you to one of these pages for your direct listing. This one happens to be for a rain listing, but it's going to go ahead and give you that same information. There are the direct links if you need them. By the way, if you see this name.rwtown.com, that is going to your site builder version of your website if you need to. If you want to go ahead and change those listing links, you certainly can. Just go ahead and copy it. You can also put your domain in here instead with this, and just keep the slash after it. It'll all work. And there's that single property website if you need it right there. There's a couple of other things that you can do here. We also talked about, we want to make sure that we keep the photos and stuff like that coming in from the MLS. So we don't want to adjust the photos in here. We want to make sure that we're keeping them, from the MLS to make sure that they're automatically done. But you can certainly see your booster listing on social media right here. This goes to that Media Booster AI section. And we're going to have all of this other information down here as well that's been automatically pulled in from the MLS. Remember I said that you could go ahead and share this listing on social media, or you could go ahead and create a flyer for this as well. If you wanted to go ahead and do that, you have a couple of options here. If you just click the advertising button on the left-hand side, any of those direct links from that email will take you to this section as well. You do go into our flyer section on rwtconnect.com. Here it is. And from here, you can go ahead and create a quick flyer. Again, this is perfect if you are running maybe an open house and you can't get that flyer right away, or you just want to print a few just to get started, you can certainly go ahead and do that. You can also email from this area as well. So if you actually wanted to send this flyer out as an email, that's that send a flyer option. You could certainly do that. You can also create a social image. If you haven't had an opportunity to take a look at all the different offerings that we have, and one of the reasons why we try to trigger that to-do list for you, if you scroll on down, you'll notice that we have a lot of different flyer options in here, nice and simple ones. All of these can be updated, by the way. If you want to swap out the photos, that's fine. If you want to swap out colors, that's also fine. So example, this is a good one here. If you want to swap that to a Cabernet background, you can certainly do that. And if you get down here to the bottom, some of the things you may not be aware of is we actually have full social graphic images in here. These are certainly set up as squares. So these can be used on Facebook or Instagram. They work perfectly fine. But notice that we do have all of these, and they do have agent branding on them as well. So if you need a quick social image that's going to have some agent branding on it, it's going to be available in here. We have lots of different types, and these are just giving you the different examples here. Anytime that you'd like to take a look at one, you can certainly go ahead and preview it. There we go. This is a nice simple one right here. We haven't made any changes, but you can certainly see what that would look like. You can go ahead and download that and upload that as well. So there's that little trigger in there for you that we have. Let me go ahead and go on back. I'm going to go back to my dashboard here real quick. Let's take a look at a couple of the other things that those emails lead to. Let's take a look at BHHS resource real quick. Couple of things that we have in here, of course, is our Chalk Digital. We are going to get an email that says we have 24 hours to go ahead and adjust that. That's part of that automated listing program. If you get that email from Chalk Digital and you want to go ahead and adjust it, if you click that email, it's going to take you to a screen that looks just like this. And it's going to go ahead and allow you to adjust the ads that are coming in. So you can certainly go ahead and do that. This agent is a member of different MLSs here, so it's going to have multiple ads in here at the same time. But you can certainly go ahead and adjust that ad. This is that opportunity for you to go ahead and change the web address where that ad will lead. So remember, that's where those emails come in handy when you get that update from RWT Connect. That's going to have that direct link in it to your website. If you have a site builder website, you can certainly go ahead and swap it out, because the default in Chalk is going to be to the BHHS global website. So we certainly want to swap that out and get your local website as much traffic as possible on here as well. Let's go back to BHHS Resource Center. Remember, I said that you were going to get an email from Marketing Resource that talked about listing kits. Let me go ahead and just log in here real quick. If you were to go ahead and click on a link in that email, it's going to take you to the same place right here with this listings button, by the way. So I want you to notice you can get to all of this without having to click through the emails. So if you happen to miss an email or you know exactly where it is, you can certainly go ahead and just log in and grab any of these. It's going to have your listings in here as well. And if you just click on any of those listings, or if you click on the listing in the email that it comes in, it's going to take you directly here. And it's going to give you that listing kit information. And it's going to let you know what's in each of the listing kits. I'm just going to go ahead and click listing kit 1 and notice that it's just giving you kind of all the general use things: flyers, e-cards, postcards, door hangers. Again, just that little checklist to say, hey, do you need any of these marketing materials for your property? Let me go back to RWT Connect real quick, and let's take a look at that Express Docs piece we talked about. That's the counterpart to the Marketing Resource Listing Kit. So again, that email is going to come in and it says, hey, you have, let me go ahead and remind me later. And it's going to say that, hey, you have an automated property marketing. Do you need any brochures, or do you need any flyers or postcards to be sent out? If you were to click on the link in that email, it's going to send you right here. And this is your available, what we call the available marketing events. This is what's going to take you into any kind of the new listings or solds. Notice this is actually a good one here because we have different things like price changes and stuff like that. And there's that information under all of these here where it says, hey, do you need a postcard? Do you need a brochure? Or do you need a flyer? All of that information is right here. Let's take a quick look at that paradigm. Paradigm's going to be bad today. Oh, we'll skip it. With the paradigm emails, don't forget that we can go ahead and make any changes to those as well if we need to. By the way, if you do get that error on Paradigm, just know that we get a notification down in web support to let us know that that has happened. We are actually in the process right now of changing the way that we log into Paradigm, just to try to make it easier on us and easier on you. So if you do get that notification, do know that we get it in web support and we go ahead and fix it for you automatically as well. And you'll get a notification that it's been fixed as well from us. Did anybody have any questions on kind of the listing based emails that are going to come out that are really important before we move on? I saw that a couple of them have been done in chat here as well. Any questions before we move forward? No? All right, so let's talk about some presentations instead. Let's talk about some reports. And we're actually going to head back in and show some of these again live here in just a minute, but let's talk about a couple of the reports that come out first. Probably the big one that you might have seen recently is the Seller Insights report that's actually going to come out from RWT Connect. So previously, this report was only available if you signed up your sellers. And recently, we made that change so that you would automatically receive these reports if you were to go ahead and log in, or if you were to go ahead and take a listing, you're going to automatically receive these. If you want your sellers to receive these, however, you need to go ahead and sign them up. So what the seller insight report is going to show is it's going to show all the different tasks that you may have completed since the last time you sent them the report. It's also going to show you different views. It's going to show you different the properties that are available right now. It's going to give a lot of really good kind of market insight information. We're going to go ahead and take a look at a live report here in just a second, but I do want you to know that if you are a listing agent, you have a listing right now, on Mondays, you should be receiving the Seller Insights report from RWT Connect automatically. Now, we would love for you to be able to sign up your sellers instead of just forwarding it on to your sellers. One of the reasons we have that is we would love to know if they've opened it. So hopefully you go ahead and sign up your sellers to receive it automatically. And that way, if you also get busy on a Monday or if you miss it for whatever reason, you can certainly go ahead. It'll go ahead and send out to your sellers as well. But you should be receiving that Seller Insight report from RWT Connect on Mondays if you have a listing. One of the other things that you're going to see too is from buyside/Percy, depends on how it's branded in the email, is that you should be receiving your daily hot sheet. This comes in every evening. Now, the time on this can change, depends on when it comes out, but we are going to see new notifications, new buyers, new listings, and different things that are going on. This is a to-do list for Buyside Percy for you every single day. So the new notifications are going to show if you've had any kind of activity on your home value system. It's going to show if anybody has signed up for a report. These are going to be notifications that people might have, come back and answered, something like an agent to agent email, that kind of thing. All of those notifications are going to be in there. It's also going to show if there's any new buyers that have been added to the system. So these buyers are not necessarily buyers that match your listings. These are buyers that are going to be just added by other agents in the system itself. So in this case, in this particular email, there were 2 new buyers added that day. So you can certainly go ahead and maybe take a look at those buyers in the system and see if they match anything that you might have coming up that maybe you haven't put into the system yet, but it shows some great buyer activity into the system. It's also going to show whether we have any new coming soon listings. So I know that you guys receive a lot of emails about coming soon, coming soon, coming soon, coming soon, and you may ignore them, especially during the day if you're really busy. But if you miss them for whatever reason, or you just want a nice recap of them, do know that you get this hot sheet every day that has these these new listings in them as well. So if you miss it, it's there. And then, of course, we have a 0 on here, but this is for our home values information as well. So we didn't have any home value inquiries that day, but if we had any, it would show on here as well. A newer email from us might be something called the BHHS Connect Daily Email. You might be seeing this coming in from the KV Core email. We understand that this email is going to change to the Bold Trail email at some point in time, but for right now, it's coming in from the KV Core email. If you're receiving this daily email, yours may say 000 right now if you're not using the system. If you're not using BHHS Connect, if you are starting to use BHHS Connect for whatever reason, you're going to see if you have any new leads in the system, if you have any tasks in the system, or if you have any calls in that you need to make that are in the system. This comes out usually every morning. But you have the ability to change these settings on your own. So if you would like to receive this in the evening, maybe as your to-do for the next day, or if you want to receive this in the afternoon, because that's when you actually work on all of the different calls that you get and emails and tasks and things like that. Maybe you do, more showings and stuff like that in the morning. Just know that you can adjust this, but by default, this should come out every morning to you. And that's how it's set up in the system. So again, this is just going to show any new leads, new tasks, or any calls. If you have any new listings, it will also show on here. I didn't have an example of one that also showed new listings, but it would also show new listings. And if you needed to do anything in the BHHS Connect system with those emails. So Question marks again. We receive a lot of emails that are different reports and stuff like that. So other reports that you might see are based on things like the listing based emails that we just had. So if you choose to go ahead and run an ad for something like Media Booster AI, which is again that paid product, you're going to receive a report based on how that did. If you go ahead and run a Chalk Digital ad, or if you're running campaigns, paid campaigns on Chalk Digital, you may receive a report from that. If you're doing extra stuff with your Paradigm account, for example, maybe you have chat to chat installed on it. Or maybe you are, or you're looking to, you have it loaded into YouTube and you want to get some stats on that, you may receive a report on that as well. So the different reports that come in may also be based on those listing based emails that you have either activated or done or worked with, or whatever product you happen to be doing. This is also the spot that I want to remind you that we have a lot of other emails that come in that we have no control over when it comes to reports. So these might be reports that are coming in from, let's just say a virtual tour company, for example. If you're using a couple of the local virtual tour companies, maybe you're not using Paradigm, maybe you've had a virtual tour done, they send their own reports. We've also seen a couple of reports that have come in that are showing things like web traffic and stuff like that that are coming in from a virtual tour company that just has a feed. So it's just kind of aggregating the data that it has available and sending out a report. And that report is to generate business for themselves, even if you're not using them. But it's a report, unfortunately, that we don't control. So the reports that I talked about today are the ones that are kind of important because they're based off of systems and tools. And again, things that we're using. Those are the ones that I mentioned in this class. But just know that you're getting a lot of other reports. If you ever have any questions about the source of that report, or if you have questions about whether it's a legitimate one, or certainly any of the stats that are in any of those reports, do forward them on to web support. Again, that's web support at rwtown.com. We'll be happy to let you know who the source is if we know. Sometimes we don't know. And we can also track down or maybe help explain some of this to you as well. We've done a bunch of different classes on the different products, and we've gone into how to explain some of these reports. I just want to let you know that this is really about the emails that are coming in that are really important, that pertain to this reporting, that might be significant for your sellers and things like that as well. If you need help explaining those reports, certainly contact us. We're happy to do that. But also, we've done a couple of other classes on individual products where we've talked about how to explain some of these reports as well. We're not going to get into that today, but we're happy to send you links if you need help with some of that. I really wanted to mention on the reports as well that reporting usually comes in once a week, and unfortunately it staggers. So some companies send in reports at the end of the week. A lot of companies send in things on Monday, so it goes to a Sunday to Sunday schedule. A lot of the reports that are automatically sent from most of our vendors, we can't change the date, unfortunately. We would love to be able to. But we are excited to announce that we have a really great working relationship with Reliance, who obviously does our intranet and does site builder websites and does our seller insights reports and things like that. That they are working with a bunch of our vendors to try to get more and more stats into our seller insights report so that we don't have to continuously send lots and lots of different reports to our sellers. So speaking of reports, let's go take a look at a quick seller insights report, and we can go ahead and take a look and see what one of those looks like. Maybe. Yep. All right. Thanks for indulging that swap for me real quick. Just to show you that seller insights report, when it comes into you, it is going to be the exact email form of one of these reports. And you can get to this at any time as well by going to RWT Connect and going to your listing manager, and certainly going to your listings. You're looking for something called Seller Insights right here. This is the email report that you are now receiving automatically. There we go. And you can certainly go ahead and sign up your sellers for that as well. You can see that that agent here has signed up their seller here as well. You have the ability to control this on the seller side. So if you want your seller to receive more information more frequently, you can certainly do that. Maybe it's a long-term listing. Maybe it's something like some land or something like that that you know may take a while to sell and you only want to put that report out. You can certainly change the frequency if you need to. You do have some opportunities to change the nearby properties, so which properties are shown. This really does come in handy when you have a property that's really unique. Maybe you need to base it off a saved search, so the properties that come up in this report are based on something like a luxury market, or maybe based on lots and lots of land out, you know, in a very wide area. Otherwise, it's going to be based on a radius. That usually works for most of our homes that we have listed. It's going to let people know that we have done certain tasks for them. So these are automatically put in. You can add to this, and I encourage you to do that. So for your seller reports, if you are sending this out to your seller on an automatic basis, so you have it them done as a to on there, not just forwarding from your email that comes in, you would actually be able to do this. This is a great way to just keep track of things that have been done. Maybe you hosted another open house, or maybe you sent out additional postcards, or maybe you made 20 calls to co-brokes who are used to working in the area. Whatever you happen to do, you can certainly add to this task list that's available for you in the listing manager, and you can go ahead and just kind of put out what you did for that listing in here. We love this feature. It's great to really show value, especially to a seller. That seller insights report, then it comes in, it's going to show your property, your subject property. This is available, and it's going to show what's available on the website. It's going to show your property detail pages if you need to. It's also going to show that listing traffic summary on here. It's going to show lots of different things. So it's going to show the different views, the listing views, the search views, any digital marketing impressions that have been made. So of course, this is actually coming from Media Booster AI. And as we can continue to add additional vendors to this number will certainly increase as well. It's going to show some stats that are available in here as well. So it's just going to show kind of the traffic over time, and you can certainly adjust these buttons down here. So search results views, listing detail views, marketing impressions. So if you're running, again, that Media Booster AI, you can certainly get that digital media impression. It's going to let you know where these stats are coming from. So in this particular case, these stats in the Seller Insight Report are coming from our websites, and this is as a whole, so it's coming from our corporate website and all the shared agent websites. So if a particular agent in your local area is getting a lot of traction on your own listing on their website, maybe it showed up in a bunch of different search results from people they were working with, all of that traffic will certainly show up on here as well. And we're also pulling in things from Zillow. As we add additional external sources, they'll certainly show up in here as well. So from time to time, you may see additional information in here based on what information we can get at the time. And then it's going to show, again, those properties near. There's that at a glance, what's going on, and the different things that are available. So these are active properties that are similar. These are pending properties that are similar. And then these are sold properties that are similar. And again, we love this report, and we want you to send these to your sellers. We want you to review these. These are great for talking about prices. I know that we haven't had a lot of price changes in the past, but it's been coming up as something that we might see in the future where we have to think about some price adjustments. Great thing to talk about condition and stuff like that, especially if you're seeing a drop off in traffic. These are great talking points for people. And people certainly love the nosy neighbor option here of just being able to see what has sold, what is listed, and what is pending in their local area as well. It's a really nice high impact piece. It's been really well done. Again, it's going to continue to just have more information on here as well. There we go. And that's going to be that, again, that seller insight report that's available for you every Monday. All right, let's take a look real quick. I want to show you just because it comes out fairly often. Oops, grab my other tab up here at the top for Chalk Digital. Come on, be nice to me here. No, it's not gonna let me do it because it's an active property. Okay. You do have a report that will come in from Chalk Digital too that's going to have a heat map on it that's available to you. And you can certainly go ahead and send that to your sellers and forward that to them as well on here. All right, let's take a quick look at a couple of lead gen sources before we wrap up today and take a look at a couple of those emails as well. It's probably the top question we get on our lead gen are our lead gen new lead notifications that are coming in from RWT Connect. They look a little strange sometimes, and they look a little plain. There is a reason for that. You have some emails that come in that are available from anything that comes in from your website. So these could be things like they signed up for Property Watch, or they saved a favorite, or they need more information about additional listing details, is what it's called, or they've scheduled a showing. One of the things I'm going to go back and show you here as soon as we're done is we're increasing the number of calls to action that are available on your website. So we're hoping that you guys see more and more of these, especially as you continue to drive traffic. These emails can be sent to email or text, which is one of the reasons why they are kind of simple to see on here. But you do need to click to log into the CRM to accept the lead from the dashboard. Or if you are receiving this on your mobile phone, or if you're receiving this via text, you're also going to have an accept button, which will make your life nice and easy. Just click the accept button and it's going to send you an additional email that's going to have all of the information in it that is coming in from this lead. Because one of the things I want you to notice on this email that's coming in is that it doesn't actually have any information on it. So it's just letting you know that there's a lead, there's a number there that's being sent. This person happened to register on Property Watch. So in this case, this person set up a safe search. That's what Property Watch is. And they signed up, and it's an original lead. Here's when they signed up, and there isn't an expiration date on this one because we don't have a round robin system. So anytime a lead comes in, it's just going right to your box. And then it's letting us know that we need to click here. If I was on my mobile phone, it would have that accept button for me. So the click here would take me to the dashboard where I would have to accept it, or I could or just click the accept button instead on my phone. The next email that I'm going to go ahead and get would have all of the information in it. So it's going to have the name and the email, phone number, whatever these people have provided to us is going to be in that information. If it is an email about setting up a appointment or needing additional details, or maybe a contact or something like that, where they've provided some additional text, some additional information, all of that's going to be available in that email notification as well. You're going to want to go ahead and keep an eye out for these emails. They look a little strange. They say lead alert, whatever that number happens to be, has been offered to you. It's been offered to you because it's coming from your own website, just as an FYI. And then it's going to let you know, in this particular case, it's coming from the Reliance Network. Again, anytime you see these emails, there is an action item on here, but I'm going to show you where you can go on RWT Connect to go ahead and accept these. If you happen to miss this email or you're not 100% sure what it is, I'm going to show you in just a second where you can go and accept those leads on your own as well. So just know that these come in, and you do have some settings as to how they can come in. I'll show you those as well here in just a second. The other big email that we have that comes in is the buy-side Percy email called the value check. This one comes in, and I've used one that actually came into our corporate website. It's for North Carolina, that somebody checked the valuation of their home. So I wanted to explain this email because this question comes up fairly often. You'll want to take a look at these emails, and we've had agents who came to us and said, well, I contacted Larry on here and he said he didn't check it. And that could be. The emails that come in that are just on the value check for buy side just mean that somebody has checked the value of that home, not their home, that home. There's a difference. So I could be checking the value of my mother-in-law's home, for example. It doesn't mean that she did it. She doesn't know how to turn on her computer. But it just means that somebody did. So this is a great opportunity for doing maybe a little bit of property marketing. We do know, because we happen to see all the inquiries that come in, and it's really interesting, that sometimes somebody will check the neighbor's property first because they want to make sure that, they're not requesting additional information. There's a lot of value checkers out there that require you to put in your name, your phone number, your email, things like that in order to get that information. Our system doesn't. So it's really interesting for us to be able to see on these value check emails that sometimes we'll see, like this one is 561 Milton. We might see this one come in first, but then we might see 563 Milton come in a couple minutes later. And sometimes that is the actual person who's been doing the incoring. We never know, but that's kind of a fun, interesting thing on here. So just know that these kind of emails do come through. What they are going to give you is the property address, and it's going to give you the property owner name, but this property owner name has not been provided by the property owner. This property owner name that's coming in here is provided by the tax or public record. So it's the information that's on file, essentially. So these people may not have been the people who actually inquired about this. Maybe it was a child, maybe it was them, maybe it was a neighbor, whatever it happens to be. Maybe it was somebody who was interested in this home if it happens to be listed. But it is a good opportunity for you to maybe send out those 10 postcards to that whole street, just kind of tagging it, maybe just something generic about, the home, or maybe it is a great opportunity just to go ahead and drop by and drop off that BMA, whatever it happens to be. So don't discount the value of these emails that come in from buy side when somebody has just checked the valuation of their home. We've had great success in just kind of blanketing a small area around it, just to see if we can kind of poke out that person who might be looking at the valuation of their home. And we have a lot of really great valuation postcards that are available in Express Docs. So it's also a good way to kind of back up that statement. And it can, again, doesn't have to be, hey, you check the value of your home. Do you want to know more information? It can just be something soft to begin with as well. So think about those emails in that respect. There is a second email that comes in, however, that does have more information in it from buy side. And that's one that says that somebody has signed up for the monthly report. That's a little bit different. So the email looks really similar to this, but it just says, hey, somebody has signed up for a monthly report on that particular address. And then here's the name and information and email that they put into the system in order to receive that information. That's very different. That is definitely a hot lead. That is somebody who actually signed up to receive an automatic email from Buyside Percy on their home valuation. So basically sends them to the home valuation site once a month to check the valuation of their home. It's a much different kind of hot lead that does come in from Buyside. So do keep an eye out for the two different emails. Most of the time, what you're going to see is this value check. But on occasion, you will see that call to action that has the sign up for a monthly report. And that information is going to have real concrete information from a real person that had to actually sign up to receive it. There's a lot of other lead gen emails that come in as well. We're starting to see different emails come in from Express Docs. They have a new product that's available. So when you send out a postcard, we have ads that now show on the USPS Informed Delivery. We're starting to see emails come in that tell us when somebody has actually clicked on or looked at the ad. If you have not had a chance to check out the Express Docs Informed Delivery ads yet, you can check out all that information on Express Docs, or you can certainly email us in marketing@rwtown.com. We'll be happy to send you some more information on it. So we're starting to see lead gens come out of there. We're starting to see some lead gen come in again from the KV Core system or BHHS Connect. We're starting to see some lead gen come in from different sources that, again, we can't necessarily control, but we can certainly help you out. One of the things, again, I'm putting on here for other are things like we have seen leads come in from, let's just say homes.com or realtor.com that look really, really spammy. They want you to contact them with the WhatsApp. They seem to be blanketing every realtor in the area. They probably are. We see a lot of those different kinds of emails and things like that for lead gen. The two that I showed you are the two that come in most often from our system. Those are the ones that are coming in directly from RWT Connect. Those are the ones that are coming in from Buyside. Those are two products that we use every single day that we certainly want to keep an eye out for. But we do know that you receive a lot of other lead gen emails, again, from partners, from other people who are trying to sell you their services, from people who are trying to get you to pay that 45% referral fee for what might be a junk lead, who knows. If you ever have any questions about those lead gen emails, if you have any questions about the legitimacy of something, or if you're not 100% sure on what that email is or who it's coming from or whether it's legit, you can certainly send that over to websupport@rwtown.com. We're happy to take a look. If we have some additional email information, we can certainly provide that to you. Again, sometimes we know the source, sometimes we don't, but we do try to at least hunt that down for you a little bit. So let's take a look before I let you go here real quick. And I did promise I would show you where you can get the information for those leads without having to log on. So let me go ahead and send you those real quick. There we are. So I'm back on RWT Connect. Remember, I said that if you got an email and you missed it, or you're not 100% sure where it went, or maybe you forgot to click accept, or maybe you were busy at the time and you didn't get back to it for whatever reason, if you are in RWT Connect, you have two options. I'm actually going to show you probably the least popular option, but should be your most popular option. Let me say that again. This is right now an underutilized thing on our entire system, which is the Insights dashboard. It's one of the reasons we moved it right to the front. If you click on Insights dashboard, it's going to let you know if you have leads that have not been accepted. Insights dashboard is the great place to go for a lot of the things we've talked about, but it'll let you know if you have some leads that have not been accepted. It'll also let you know if there are things that you need to do in your listings. It'll also let you know if you have action plans that need to be set up or other tasks and things that you can do on RWT Connect. Super underutilized resource. We're going to do a lot more training on Insights dashboard into the new year, but just know that you can go here. You can also go up to leads in the hamburger menu and manage. And obviously there aren't going to be any under this particular account, but if you just go to leads and manage, it's going to let you know if you have any leads that are available on here as well. These are old leads, so I'm not worried about these. And that one's mine. So if you have leads that need to be accepted, they're going to be in the leads pending option up here, and it's going to let you know when they've come in, what they've done, if there's any offers on them and other activities as well. But for all the things that we've talked about today, I highly encourage you to use this Insights dashboard, especially for a lot of the emails that we've talked about with RWT Connect. Again, we know that we get a lot of emails from all of our different systems, but if you go to that Insights dashboard, it's basically going to be a consolidation of all those emails that you've received for your new listings, for your leads, for things like that, for the RWT Connect products. So there's that leads, there's any listing information that you need to do. Do you need to run some ads? Do you want to add a task? Do you want to send a message? Do you want to create an email? Do you want to send this listing somewhere? Do you want to share it? Do you need to edit it? What do you need to do? This Insights dashboard is a great place just to kind of review all those emails that you might get and be able to see all the different information that's on there as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for today, just because we've talked about a lot of different emails and a lot of different systems. I'm happy to take any questions for a couple of minutes. Otherwise, I'll let you guys have your day. Any questions? Awesome, Lisa. Thank you so much. All right. Well, if there are no questions, you certainly know where to find us. We're always happy to help. So again, you can use one of two emails. You can either use marketing@rwtown.com if you have any questions about any of our marketing products or marketing vendors. And if you have any questions about anything having to do with any of our CRMs or any emails and things like that that come in, you're certainly welcome to contact us at websupport@rwtown.com. I hope you all have a great and successful week. Go forth and sell, and I will see you all again in the new year.